Hi, I'm Sam Meredith, and joining me to provide us with his insight on the Swedish economy is Alex Waters, economist with Global Roubini Economics. Firstly, Alex, Sweden's Riksbank shocked the markets last month by announcing a rate cut further into negative territory by readjusting rates to minus 0.35%. The aim of the move was to weaken the krona and stimulate inflation in the economy. Yet the krona has since strengthened against the euro and inflation has fallen to minus 0.4%. So is this plan working?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, is the move to weaken the krona working? Yes. I mean, the krona is currently at 9.46 to the euro. And we have a year-end target of 9.30, as we think this is the level that the Riksbank is comfortable with. Now, is the weaker krona having an effect on inflation? We believe yes, in as much as the fact that the weaker krona is preventing prices falling further into deflationary territory. And this is what we believe is the Riksbank's objective. Now, I think there's been a bit of a misconception within the market about what the Riksbank has been trying to achieve lately. Now, across the rest of the year, if you look at the inflation itself and the underlying causes, particularly the seasonal effects, these are likely to give headline inflation a boost. Now, it's not massive. It's not going to get them back towards target immediately, but you're at least looking towards 0.4, 0.6% by year end. Now, with the Riksbank's actions by trying to prevent an appreciation of the krona, this will enable these factors to kick in and help inflation get back to target, at least over the medium term. And then again, on July the 2nd, as you mentioned above, the Riksbank cut to minus 0.35. Did this come as a surprise? Not particularly to us, because we expected it to be a structural change in the currency, given the Greek saga. Given the events at the time when they actually started to introduce this, we believe the Riksbank had to enter what we've kind of dubbed here at Roubini Global Economics is the currency war by proxy, whereby central banks have expanded their balance sheets, otherwise the krona would have appreciated. And to us this makes sense, because when you look on January the 15th, with the Swiss National Bank cutting or abandoning the FX floor, and again the pressure it put on the Danish peg at the time as well, we believe that the Riksbank didn't want to give any investors an incentive to want to buy the krona. So essentially, they've cut the repo rate, they followed the S&B, they followed the Danish central bank down, but also they wanted to load the entire curve, so they had to implement QE at the time.
Retail sales growth eased for a third consecutive month to a sixth-month low in June, with year-on-year growth now at 3.8%. How is this easing trend reflective of overall economic activity in Sweden?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, this morning's retail sales came below the market's expectations, but if you look at it in level terms, I mean, the trend of retail sales remains really strong. And so I wouldn't really read too much into these numbers. It seems to suggest that the households in general have solid financial conditions despite the deteriorating consumer confidence that you can also see in other survey data. I think really what's more important is what happens with GDP that comes out later this week. But if you look, as I said, if you look at the trend and you go back a couple of years, essentially retail sales and private consumption have been growing really strongly, and so is credit growth. And so there's no doubt this will be kind of discounted by the Riksbank in their kind of reaction function. But I don't see there in any major concern at the minute about just the slightly below expectations retail sales that came out today.
Finally for today, which indicators likely to have a significant impact on the krona can we look out for?
We believe that the Riksbank's reaction function had pivoted away more from domestic factors towards a focus on the krona, in particular, preventing or at least offsetting significant structural shifts in the level of the FX rate, particularly against the euro, given that it's the largest trading partner of Sweden, the eurozone. So firstly, I'd say, look, what is going on regionally and globally, then to see if that can drive krona appreciation on a fundamental basis. For example, we saw Greece had an impact on the Riksbank decision to cut on July the 2nd. Up to that point, you could view the cut, are they going to cut, are they not? It was in the balance. And then the Greek referendum happened, and so it was right, the uncertainty this would generate may lead to a structural change in the level of the krona, particularly in appreciation against the euro. So what I would say is, look at the international factors that are going on. Look at its Nordic peers. Norway and Denmark, we've seen a lowering of interest rates in Norway as they're trying to offset the decline in oil prices and the spillovers that it has on the Norwegian economy. And, the Riksbank have penciled in an additional cut later this year. Again, they're lowering rates, this will put pressure on the krona, but also, in the medium term, it doesn't look like Denmark is likely to raise any of their rates either soon. from their current low level. ECB QE, we foresee this extending beyond September 2016. And as a result, the Riksbank will probably continue its asset purchase program beyond September 2015. So again, if they would stop, if the Riksbank would just stop its asset purchase program, it would put appreciating pressure on the krona.
Thank you for joining us, Alex. Be sure to check back with Djugoscopy for more updates throughout the week. Goodbye for now.